Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Spiritual Grind. We hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to follow, hit the little bell for your notifications when the podcast is posted, and like, follow, and share with your friends. We hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment if there's any topics that you want us to speak about.
Like, follow, share.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Spiritual Grind.
Good morning.
It's James and Jenny here. We appreciate you all tuning in again and listening to this wonderful podcast that we put out every single week, actually twice a week.
Yeah, I try to do one twice a week.
Yeah, and we appreciate the like, follows, and shares that you all do, because we've had quite a large jump in listeners lately, and we're liking it.
Yeah, for sure. I think there was a couple of weeks where we missed one just because it was heavy app week.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Did you say heavy ass week?
There are days where my
Is that like a show here in Daytona?
Maybe.
It's we have Backtober week and beach week and or Jeep week and
heavy ass week.
Yeah, that'll be the next one. There's something going on at the racetrack last night.
Yeah, we could hear the noise, but I don't know what it was.
I don't know either. I don't really care.
Anyway, the app development, it never ceases to amaze me. Two things about it. The intricate, vast amount of details that go into it that I never knew were involved in developing an app.
Oh, yeah, it's quite intricate.
And then our ability to just adapt and overcome like we always do. Learning whatever we need to learn to pivot, doing whatever we need to do. I, as a creator and illustrator, taught myself what a rig is and how to create the dimensions of like the avatar, the user avatar clothing and stuff. So I'm creating that inventory line now for the app, for the avatars.
Yeah.
A rig is basically a computer generated mannequin, so to speak.
Yep.
And you can't just create a naked one because of the naked policies and stuff from everything. So you got to put on like this bodysuit, and you got to think about whether or not you're going to go skin colored or not. And
yeah,
there's quite a bit of detail just in getting ready to do the clothing and jewelry inventory. You got to come up with that base model so that for example, so the earrings land properly on the avatar when they choose it, or the clothes or the hats or whatever. So I've been creating the wigs and the jewelry and the headbands, sunglasses.
All the inventory.
All the inventory for the avatar user.
So what's one thing that fooled you about the app that you've had to, that really got you like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that?
Oh my God. It's not one thing.
Yeah.
It's something every day.
Because what did you expect?
I don't really know that I had an expectation. I think more so I had limited knowledge.
Yeah.
And I hadn't really even sat and thought about it until we began developing our own app.
Yeah. All the time, money, and effort that goes into it.
Well, yeah. I mean, you think there's two different viewpoints on it. You know, the end user experience of what the
There's three, actually.
app looks like on the user side. And I live in kind of that world most of the time because as the creative director, I gave myself a new title
The CD.
after the board meeting. I'll be giving myself a raise.
Okay. 2 times 0 is still 0.
But anyway, so I stay on that side of things most of the time, creating, illustrations. And like I said, right now I'm doing the clothing line for the avatars. I'll move into the furniture and choices like that.
For the cottage.
I think what happens with me is when we have our developer meetings once or twice a week, and they show me their back end screen, that's been the biggest, educational moment of what is entailed on the back side of things.
Yeah.
It doesn't, my illustration then does not look like an actual illustration when you look at the back end. It's just like all these random weird letters and
dashes and dots and squirrely numbers. And,
And so it's like, oh, okay, so all those weird hieroglyphs, they are like the illustration that I actually see. So for me, it was kind of an awakening moment of.
Well, it's actually 3 experiences. There's 3 things that goes on. You have back end coding, you have the user interface, and the user exchange. And so there's 3. You're creating user interface.
Yeah.
The coders create the back end coding, and then the other part of the team does the user exchange or interface.
Yeah.
So the thing that communicates between those 2 things.
Oh, I see. So they're taking the illustration. Part of the team is making it into words that will take the illustration into computer language.
Yeah, they change and adapt and make them vectors or whatever so they can be coded.
And then there's another part of the team that actually is linking those 2 together or something. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's a whole nother area that I didn't know anything about.
Yeah.
But that's not
You have UI, UX. You have those 3 things that go on.
I recognize
I've learned a ton about it.
Acronym.
Yeah.
And I know that you guys use them often, but I'm still learning. And wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But
it is pretty crazy.
This conversation kind of falls right into my topic today.
And what I realized too is that we spend our day, we're actually putting in most of the time more hours in our work day currently than we did in our job, but it doesn't feel like work. Right. I sometimes feel guilty because I think, wow, I'm just sitting around creating all this fun stuff and it just doesn't even feel like work. And so I'm like, golly, I don't really feel like I'm doing anything, but I will look up and I'll have worked like through lunch and not even realized it. Or even some days work through supper and I look up and it's dark outside and I'm like, okay, you know what? I come to you and I'll say, okay, listen, we got to stop and eat supper. We didn't eat lunch.
Right. Yeah, I know. Right. We're like literally stuck in this 1 meal a day thing. We keep end up doing that. We'll come 4 or 5 o'clock and be like, we're hungry. Right. Yeah.
It's not out of like torture. It doesn't feel torture. It's kind of like we're just enjoying where we're at and in the now. And it just kind of happens.
Right. Like yesterday you were talking about, the value, we were talking about the value of what we've done, and it's astronomical.
Right. I mean,
$300,000 to $600,000 that we have done.
Well,
worth of work. That's not even probably all of it.
So what you're talking about is the conversation we had yesterday where I was feeling like on those days when we've got to go have meetings with the community, like marketing or like we got to go to the bank and do something or whatever.
The business side.
The business side of things. I sometimes will make the comment, I didn't get anything done.
Right.
But I'm steadily working on my phone, creating illustrations and doing different things while all that's going on. But I forget to realize that those meetings are still valid parts of the business and still remember to count them as business hours.
Yeah.
Rather than shortchanging myself and saying, oh, you didn't get enough done today, so it's devalued almost.
Right.
And so stopping to realize that all of that has value. And so what you're talking about is we ran a little analyzation, or I did, through chat. And because I sometimes sit around and think, okay, most of this stuff I'm doing.
You asked me, do they even use it?
Right. It's really, so from my perspective, I think, okay, you know what? I know I'm just goofing around and playing, or that's how it feels to me.
Right.
When I do these illustrations and things. And in my mind, I'm doing it so that they have an understanding of what's in my brain, trying to get it out so everybody's on the same page of the tone, the characters, what I want it to feel like, that kind of thing. And I asked you, I said, do they even use the illustrations that I create? Is it even being helpful other than just setting the tone? Because again, it was me finding value in what I was doing.
Yeah.
And your conversation back to me was quite epiphanal in that you said, it's the base structure, and then they just take and clean it up a little bit and tweak it.
Well, they sent you an image.
They don't
right
have
after you asked that
to
question.
recreate it or even create it initially. It's already created. They just give their little polishing up of it.
We're taking their imagination out of it.
That made me look at it from a whole different perspective as far as what I was doing. I was like, oh, okay, so what I'm doing is useful. We all want to feel useful when we're doing things.
Right.
And what I'm doing is actually useful and beneficial. So then I said, okay, well, you know what? I had chat run some statistics for me on what if I were being paid to do what I'm doing, what does that number look like? And I was quite floored at the numbers that she put forth. I just the part that I'm doing, saving the company money on developing this app, not to mention the things you're doing. So then I was like, well, let me run the information through on what all you're doing.
Yeah.
Because, on your side of things, you've taught yourself how to code, how to put the website together, coming up with, the stories and the wording and the stuff for the legal part of it. And so I put all that into chat, and the two of us together are saving the company so much money by doing what we're doing. And it just doesn't even feel like work.
Yeah, I know, right?
It is so, it's quite a epiphanal moment, and it's so amazing when you finally figure out when you go into that place and you figure out what your joy is, and then you figure out a way to make it into something creative that pays you to do it. It's a complete twist of a turnaround.
Yeah.
From the JOB and the work. I actually wrote an article about it.
Yeah.
That I'll be putting on the blog of changing that word work.
Yeah.
I turned it into an acronym. Instead of it being work and it being kind of that negative connotation, I got to go to work.
Right. The topic that I have for the podcast today that we're already 20 minutes into.
Well, everything has a place.
Well,
right?
It kind of fits right into all this. Actually, it's about how do you fit you into your life?
How do you fit you
into your life?
Into your life.
Because we have, for the longest time as humans, we're taught that we're supposed to make sure everything else is taken care of. We got to go, we have to have a house, 2.5 kids, a car, and a job, and you're taking care of everything else. But we always forget to fit us
into
our own life.
Nice. So real quick, work. It's an acronym.
Don't give it away. It's going to be on the blog.
WORK.
You gonna give it away?
Whimsical outlook representing kindness.
Oh, towards self. Interesting.
Anyway, wanted to share that.
That's pretty good, actually.
You can find that article in the next coming days.
To the Edge and Back by Dr. Jenny.
To the Edge and Back, man.
It's on blogger.com.
Yeah.
But, you're sitting there giving examples of how you have learned to fit you into your life.
Yeah.
And we get taught, in many different aspects of all this other stuff. Like, especially as moms, you're taught to take care of the kids first and take care of the house and take care of the husband. And the husband's taught to take care of the house and take care of the wife and the kids and the blah, blah, blah. We're all taught, but we always forget to take care of ourselves and inject ourselves into our own lives.
Right.
And it can, when you get caught up in that loop, it hides reality from you.
Yeah.
And what brings it to light is me and this blood pressure issue that I keep having. I'd say it's not really an issue, this blood pressure thing I'm dealing with. I was just going through life and not even looking at what I was doing. And so I wasn't injecting myself into my own life.
I see. Say more.
And so, like, for example, let's see here what I want to talk about in this issue. So, like, I discovered that you're not supposed to use albuterol and rescue inhaler that much. And that's normally that kind of stuff I would look at. But because I was so caught up in everything else and not even living in my own life, I just went through the motions. So
when you say not living in your own life, what do you feel like you were doing?
I was just like
expound a little bit more on that.
There was moments.
What does it feel like?
Like, don't confuse it with there were moments of that we were living our life, and we were living within our life, but we don't do it consistently like we do for everybody else or everything else. And
so say more about that.
Like we went on vacation together, and that was a great vacation. We had a good time. That was us living in our life, in our own life. Mm. But what I guess the best way to explain what I'm trying to put out there is whatever we do in our life, we get caught up in these cycles.
Yeah.
And we will continuously, like every single day I get up in the morning at 5 o'clock, I make the coffee, I make sure the cats get their treats. I go through this daily or single ritual every single day. But what I don't do is what I didn't do was do something for me.
Right. So if I may.
Yes, you may.
I'll help you.
Yep.
Break it down.
Break it. We could what?
Yeah. So what you're describing to me sounds like you're in a subconscious routine pattern, which is what most people find themselves in. They just subconsciously, robotically go through their day. Mm-hmm. They get up, they get ready for work, they go get their Starbucks, they drive to work, they usually take the same track to work, they clock in, they put their purse down, like they're very creature of habit oriented. And they do that so much that it creates a habit, and you just kind of do that on autopilot without even having to think about it.
Right.
Because you've done it so much.
Correct.
Then you come home, you pick the kids up, you, do the dishes maybe so you can cook supper. Make
sure the kids do their homework.
Get them going on their homework. And, you and I live that life.
Oh, yeah.
Ourselves.
Yeah.
And then maybe get them into bed after their bath, do a load of laundry, get everybody's stuff set up and ready for the next day so you can get up and do it all over again.
Right.
But in that, where did you take time to really be in the now, be present in your own reality, and give yourself permission to read a book
Right.
or meditate or just check in with yourself. How do I feel?
Right.
How do I physically feel? How do I mentally feel? How do I emotionally feel? Am I
Or what
taking
am I doing for me?
time to check in with me and ask myself, am I as happy as I can be?
Right.
Am I doing things that bring me joy? Am I giving myself space to take that 30-minute bath because I enjoy it, soaking?
Right. Well, you see, that's where there are so many things out there that give examples, and I'm going to call out everybody that listens to this. You are not taking care of you.
Listen to your phone.
You are not living your life, and you're not identifying yourself within your own lifestyle. Because if everybody was doing it, we wouldn't have stuff like all these things like girls' night out.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have guys going to the golf course together all the time because it's a guy's day.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to go play golf or whatever you want to call it. And, you know, all
if
these.
If we were on video, you guys would have just seen him like click his head and kick his hip out, you know, with his little air quote fingers in the sky doing the air quote thing.
You know, if we were taking, taking accountability for us within our own lifestyle and the things that we want and say and do, then those things wouldn't exist. You would just be doing them.
Right. So since we're playing in the gaming world, it's almost like you're living life from first person.
Right.
And not stopping to look at your life from
the
third person.
Correct.
Overview to make sure that you actually have planted yourself in your own little world that you've created, and you're actually interacting with that world.
Right. You should be doing something for yourself every single day.
Yeah. Like in the morning, I get up, I go sit on my patio, and I get to just sit there and play with nature and enjoy the weather and drink my coffee.
Right.
That's what I do every morning for myself.
And it's your choice what it is.
Yeah.
You know, as long as you're identifying that, hey, you know, I chose this for me today.
That's right.
Because, you know, that's what I was looking at. I was so caught up over the last few years of making sure everybody else's life was good. I forgot to take care of mine.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. That's where this whole thing is going on, was because I didn't take care of me, be it health wise, be it lifestyle, be it whatever the things that I want to do. And, you know, there was moments like everybody does it. Like they plan 1.5 vacations a year. One's with the kids, right. You know, they plan the holidays with the family. Right. They do those little things. But even those are just out of habit and societal taught. Yeah. They're not impulsive.
Right.
They're not self-sustained.
Yeah.
They're what you have identified as what we're supposed to do, which is the reason why, you know, Walt Disney World is always packed on spring break, because that's what everybody's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Instead of going a week early and taking your kids out of school a week early, which you can legally do.
Yeah.
and just have them make up the work during spring break, the normal spring break.
That's right.
You know, there's always a way to do it, to identify yourself. And we as humans get so caught up in the mundane cycle of repetitive action.
Yep.
You know, like when we told everybody we were leaving our job and going all in, everybody's like, oh my God. You know, it was like, or more like, hey, we're leaving our job and doing this.
Yeah. That screeching noise of, oh my God.
You're doing what? Oh my God, I could never do that.
Yeah.
Well, you should.
I have gotten that, though, my whole life. I have been that way my entire life.
Right.
When it's time to move on, I just get up and move on. And I've had so many people, including my family, label me as the black sheep that'll never be anything, because when it's time to move on.
Excuse me, doctor, what'd you say?
Right. I did. And I even had my sister one time come to me, and we had exchange of some emotional words, and she was like, no, I don't hate you. I'm jealous of you because you always find a way to do exactly what you want to be doing. And you're not caught up in that rut of staying in the
30 years at the same
job. And I'm jealous of you for being able to come to a place where you can get up and go do something different. I want to be able to do that. And I'm like, well, just do it. Oh, I can't. This. So yeah, I lived that way. And
I firmly believe everybody gets to that point in their life somewhere.
Oh,
to where they're
absolutely.
Like I remember when my grandfather retired, and he literally went and learned how to fly a plane, and then flew him and grandma to Europe.
Yeah.
And I was in his like fourth,
cool.
He had to take a experienced pilot with him, but they still did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was a pretty crazy ride to watch him expand. And he did all sorts of things. He went skydiving.
Yeah.
He went and did
Well,
things.
you and I, even in our lives prior to each other, have done some pretty incredible things. And then coming together, we've done some pretty amazing things.
Yeah.
And so when we talk to people, they find it hard to believe that in our young age, we've done so many different things. But that's why and that's how. Because
I'm a dumb old redneck, man. I do all sorts of stuff.
We don't let the mundane routine of things sideswipe us into that loop of not going and trying things and doing things. And like if we decide we want to do something, we just go freaking do it, man.
Yeah, but even back in the day, I was still a creature of habit.
I was as well.
In the rut. I remember every single day I would walk in my office and my secretary would be standing there holding my coffee and a donut as I walked in the door.
Was it a blueberry cake donut?
It was a blueberry cake donut. She would do it.
I would have won the newlywed game just then.
There was many times that as I'm walking in, I see her get around the desk and she has it in her hand and she just waits for me to walk by. I grab it. I keep on going. There were so many times that actually happened.
Was it black coffee with 2 ice cubes?
Yeah, of course. It was. That's what I always do. But very much a mundane creature of habit. But now that it's brought to my awareness, because I've always been that athletic guy. When I football officiated, did all that stuff.
Yeah.
And when I'm dealing with a little bit of a health thing, it just drives me insane, and my monkey mind goes crazy. And so when I was in the shower this morning, I'm like, well, I mean, what do you expect when you don't expect it?
Yeah.
And that's that's where I was, because I wasn't checking in with myself.
Sounds like the name of a good book.
Yep. How to expect the unexpected, or
what to expect when you don't expect it.
Yep. Dum dum dum.
Somebody make a note of that. I'll write a book for that title.
But the whole thing for me is that it was kind of like a little bell went off. Like, well, heck, James, what did you do to stop and say, what about James?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I never did. Never did. I never have. Really.
Yeah.
I've always made it about everybody else.
Yeah.
I can remember one decision in my life that was about me, and that was it. And that's what I was going through that list this morning. That's why you asked. I was in my monkey mind because I was going through that list today.
Yeah.
I can literally name one decision that was 100% a selfish decision that I made.
See, and there's the trip up. Mm-hmm. A selfish decision.
In a positive way. I'm not calling it negative.
Right.
I'm saying, but everybody would view it as selfish.
That's why I called it a trip up.
Yeah.
Because the definition of selfish has a very negative connotation, and that's what trips people up.
Yes.
They have been taught that if they do things for themselves and not for the others.
Selfish, self-centered bastard.
You're so selfish. I can't believe you're going to do that. What about me? What about me?
And so, what I had to tell myself.
It's okay to be selfish.
I agree. It's okay to take care of you and be you and do you.
Yeah.
What I had to do this morning was make it okay within my head, and to give myself permission to be what I am, who I am, how I am, and make sure that I'm checking in with that on a regular basis and making sure that I'm living this life for me.
Yeah.
And it's not an easy thing to do. It can be, it's hitting it, bumping up some beliefs.
Right. And changing that habit.
Yeah, and making it intentionally.
Yep. It's a deep-seated habit. I think what helped me, and don't get me wrong, I get tripped up in it as well. But, what changed it for me is when I went to nursing school, they actually teach a level of that concept. And nursing school, when I went back in the day, was very much still designed like military.
Yeah.
It's a military-based concept and program. And so what they taught was, I can't help anybody if I am not safe.
Yeah.
And so they taught, scene observation, make sure you're safe first, make sure the scene is safe to go on to, and then go in and take care of the patient. Because if something happens to you,
and there's 2 patients,
and the scene is not safe, then you both end up critically wounded or even dead. And for me, that was what changed the word selfish. It kind of gave me permission in my life to redefine that word for me, because that's completely right. And it plays into regular life, civilian life, even if you're not a nurse, is, if you're depleted physically, mentally, energetically, or emotionally, you're not going to be everything you want to be to others anyway.
Right.
If you're a healer, coach, helper, whatever your thing is that you do, you're not going to be much help if you're depleted.
Right.
And so you have to be selfish and make sure that you're tending to your own garden and keeping it balanced. And I don't just mean keeping yourself physically healthy or mentally healthy. I mean doing a balanced concept, making sure that you stop and have joy, making sure that you stop and plug yourself into your own freaking reality and taking time for yourself. If you're tired today, then stop and rest. If you find yourself craving, listen, I feel like I want to do something fun, then listen to that nudge and go figure out what that is and do it for a minute.
And I had to go back and work through some things that I had identified as fun, that was like fun for me. Like I used to do those annual meetings. I would take my managers to a club in Dallas, and I was identifying that as mine, as I did it, and it was all about business. It wasn't really for me. Did I have fun? Yeah, I had fun, but it wasn't a typical thing I would have chosen to do.
Right.
And so it was like I labeled those things wrong. And so I went through my life thinking I was doing things for me when I really wasn't. There was always a secondary category or agenda for that event,
right,
or for that non-event, whatever it is.
Yep.
Like I hear moms, all the time say, "Oh, I can't. I've got to take care of the kids."
That's a big one. Whenever you become a parent, everything seems to be wrapped around what the kids do, and we forget as parents to still take time for ourselves, and that everything you do does not have to include the child.
Right.
The child will be okay if you go and do something that you want to do.
Yep.
But when we become parents, we think, oh my God, I'm a bad parent if I leave them with the grandparents or the sitter so that I can go and have a massage or sit quietly by my favorite body of water in the park or something, and I don't have child in tow. I'm a bad parent.
I remember a friend of mine and his wife. She literally once or twice a year would go to Tahoe with her girlfriends.
Yeah.
And he absolutely was not allowed to go.
Right. Yeah.
Of course, as humans, we're taught, oh, what are they doing up there? They're going up there and meeting their boys or whatever, and that jealousy bone kicks in.
And turning it into some bullshit thing of they're doing something wrong.
Right. Like I actually asked him one time, because he would say, do you think she's got a boyfriend up there? or that kind of stuff,
for crap's sake.
And I'd be like, well, go up there and check it out. Oh, no, she divorced me for that. That's her time.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, then why are you asking me stupid questions?
Right.
If you think she's cheating on you, she's going to divorce you anyway. And if you go up there, she's going to divorce you anyway. So either quiet the monkey mind, deal with it, have fun, go do your time while she's gone for 3 or 4 days, whatever it is.
Right.
And or
tote your ass up
or
there.
tote your ass up there and check it out.
Check it out.
Well, what if she's not? Well, then quit doing that to yourself. And so that's the process by which we work as humans. Mm-hmm. We will so not let ourselves enjoy ourselves.
Yep. Or the reality that you've created.
And anybody that says that their joy is based upon helping others is lying.
Lying tigers and bears. Oh my!
They are lying to themselves.
Yeah.
Because your joy does not come from somebody else's joy.
That's right.
I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
Because you have to stop and say, what is my joy?
Right.
What is it that makes me happy? Because you're slowly depleting yourself. Slowly, that little number is fading.
Yeah, that health gauge.
Until you reinstill yourself, because you are not as good. You're not as 100% good for anybody until you're 100% good for yourself.
That's right.
And so it's like and it can be a trap, man. You just gotta really pay attention to it. Don't fall for all the slogans. Got to take care of the kids, or I have to work on Saturdays, or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Who cares? Find time.
Yeah. If we go down the rabbit hole with it, all of those little sayings and adages were created, long before we came along.
Oh, yeah.
To keep society in that factory mindset, staying with the same company, doing the same thing, getting everybody programmed into that robotic second nature, going through the motions mindset.
Yep.
So that the big companies had less turnover, more people staying for the pension.
Yep.
They didn't want people to take time for themselves and contemplate and, meditate and be creative. They didn't want that.
Right.
Because it took them it had the opportunity to bring them into a place of, oh, damn, this is boring. I stand here all day long putting this shit in this box on this conveyor belt. This is not what I fucking want my life to look like.
Right. Right.
And the minute that somebody pops out of that template, then it had the potential of shaking the whole system up and they losing control of everything.
Yep.
And so the rabbit hole concept is that through the generations, we've been nicely programmed that this is just like what life looks like.
Right.
And, interestingly enough, I think the generation that came after us was a little more on the other side of that, of wanting to work from home, wanting to come out of that paradigm, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then I think, more interestingly enough, I think COVID helped shift the scale of everybody having to segregate and be confined to their house. I think the government created that to regain control, but I think what it did is it turned around and it bit them in the butt.
Yeah.
And it made everybody realize and come to this realization that, hey, you know what? Because we had to get creative and figure out how to still do our jobs, but we couldn't go to the office anymore. We've now realized that our job can actually be done from home.
Yeah.
And a lot of people did not want to come back to the office after COVID. They wanted to continue to work from home.
I know there's some jobs that still aren't.
That's right. That's what I was going to say. There are some of them that still just work from home, and companies are finding out
like
that
our son did it.
It actually is costing them less in their overhead and their overall expenditure to allow the people to work from home. So they're embracing it now.
Yep.
And it's kind of putting the government in a bit of a tailspin, and everything is being, like, the whole grid is being reconstructed and moving us towards coming out of that robotic mindset of not thinking for yourself.
Right.
Just
Yep.
going into that second nature, get up, go to work, drive to work, fight the traffic,
Right.
blah, 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 barf me, blah mindset, because you got to be successful, and you can't be successful unless you be in the same job and wait for your pension. And I mean, hell, these days, I don't even think pensions exist
They
anymore.
don't. It's all 401ks now.
Very
But,
hardly ever.
I mean, there's a couple of companies that still do it. Like
Yeah.
Verizon still does it.
And I'm sure probably the government
Yeah.
jobs.
You know, the other part of that too is when you think for yourself like this, moving around and doing different things that make you happy is a whole lot less thought.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like being a kid again.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take a kid into a playroom and they've got this playroom full of toys and you just observe what they're doing,
Right.
you watch them, they'll play with this toy for a little while and then the energy fades. So then they'll move to the sandbox and they'll play with that for a minute.
I only had one toy.
And then they'll listen. We're not here to talk about your sob story of being poor or whatever. So, but if you just watch them, they'll move about the toy room and they'll play with this one for a while and they'll play with that one for a while. And
they'll throw them all out of the box and then crawl inside the box.
Yeah, exactly. But then what you'll also notice is that if you don't interrupt them and you're just silently watching them, when they get tired, they literally will fall asleep in the floor of the playroom.
Stop and lay down right there.
And lay down right there, take a little nap, because that was the next joyful thing that they needed to do.
Yep.
Then, while they're napping, you bring their little celery sticks and their little dried cereal and their little cup and put it on their little table. They'll munch and nibble as they play in their room, and it'll end up being a whole day of play, and you're just like putting their food on their little table in their cage.
Yep.
I have done that with my own children and watched them, observe them in their little play area. Yep. They just go through and they navigate the whole room and
doing their thing.
There's no rules and no, oh my God, I haven't played with this one in 5.5 minutes, so I've got to go back and play with this one. And if you take and you kind of live your life in that way, that's what we mean by finding the next thing that brings you that little moment of joy. It can be absolutely anything.
Agreed.
And whenever you're going through your life doing that, that's when it's a big game changer, man. It's just a game changer.
Yeah.
It helps you strip away the have-tos, the shoulds, the must-dos, the task list concept. And then, I get it. I can hear the buzz now. How do we do that when we're already trapped in a 9 to 5? You got to start small. If you've created this whole subconscious lifestyle where you're not plugging yourself in, you take it in baby steps.
Well, I can tell people the easiest way to get out of working for somebody else, and this is a little
without jumping off the cliff and having to go broke,
is empower yourself to do more than one thing at a time. Because that's where a lot of people, they get caught. Oh, I work 40 hours a week here. I'm a father, a mother, and I have 8 hours at church on Sunday, and so they talk themselves into not having time to do something else. And if there's something you love and enjoy doing, then start small.
Work it into the schedule.
Work it into your schedule. Like, the guy that I know that's known him for a long time, he loves to draw. Yeah. He always wanted to be an artist.
Yeah.
But he had quit drawing because he didn't have time.
Yeah.
He had already labeled himself as, I work 45 hours a week, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, you start with 1 hour.
No.
Find yourself 1 hour, even if it's or 1 minute or whatever.
I mean, some people won't even allow themselves to find an hour.
Yeah.
If it's 5 minutes to just sit and do that one thing, you may even be the kind of person that can only do it 5 minutes at a time or 10 minutes at a time.
I heard
start somewhere though.
I heard Zig Ziglar actually lecture on this many years ago. about how people can transition from one thing to the next much easier when they do two things. A is they commit 2 hours a week to whatever their idea is that they're coming up with.
Mm-hmm.
And they pay themselves $1 for every minute into their savings account that they spend doing it. And they start prioritizing it.
Yeah, but I can hear the buzz of, I don't have $1.
Well, yeah, that's where,
So you have
make
to give
it
other
important.
things value.
Well, that's what it was in the lecture about you're the only person that's saying you're broke. And
I get the concept. I get it.
Right. Even if it's a penny, pay yourself a penny.
Or do this. This is something that I actually did. I couldn't conceptualize when it was just me and my 2 children of our blended family, paying myself money to do that, because everything all of the dollars had places where they went. So what I did is when I wanted a new something or another, shoes, shirt, whatever, I gave it a value, whatever it cost at the store, $40 shirt that I wouldn't normally buy because the kids are more important, and that $40 will buy each of them whatever. Well, so when I found something that I wanted to buy and it was, $40, then I know
yours. Go ahead and tell your system. I know your system, the envelope system. Go ahead. Talk about it.
know the envelope system came along a little later after that.
Oh, that's right. It was jars, wasn't it? Mason jars or something?
I did the envelope system later on.
Yeah.
But that was based on the, what's his guy's name? Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey, yeah.
Back in the day. That was a throwback.
What a way to contain yourself.
Right.
When you're
But
all your money
instead
in an envelope.
of putting a $1 a minute into a savings account concept, whenever I had done that, I didn't put it in a savings account. I gave myself permission to go buy the shirt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Same kind of concept.
It is the same concept.
Yeah.
But instead of it wasn't rewarding to me to see $40 in my savings account.
Yeah.
Like I needed something tangible to give myself a reward.
I got a neighbor one time that he was tired of working. He worked in some factory. He worked in a cabinet factory. And he loved mowing his lawn.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
he did.
He just loved it. He loved mowing and weed eating and taking care of his flowers. And, he would talk about, maybe I should start a landscape business. And I was like, well, why don't you?
If you all had video right now, you would see me turning up my nose and making a very ugly face. But not at all.
He's like, oh, man, it takes so much money to do it. I was like, start somewhere. Put $100 here, $5 there, whatever it is.
Exactly.
Start somewhere and get it built up. And then, 18 months later or so, he pulled up with this magnet on the side of his truck with a trailer. It had a medium quality mower, push mower, weed eater, and blower. And he was like, he honked his horn. He's like, look
at me now.
And I'm like, well, great. Do you have any contracts yet? And I assumed that he had went out and got contracts before he went and bought all this stuff. And he's like, nope. I'm like, so when are you going to you mow on the weekends? He's like, nope, I quit my job yesterday. Oh my God, you went all in. Great. What I was excited for him.
Yeah.
And so I hired him to do my lawn.
Oh, there you go.
And so I was his first contract, and he grew into a very large company.
Yeah.
Large commercial company, actually.
Probably very quickly, too, because he was doing what his passion.
He loved it because he was really good with flowers and things. And, which I killed all of them. And so, I used to pay him to come over and do my yard anyway. Right. And so I just signed a contract with him. And, but it was really cool to watch him grow, and within probably a year, he had 5 or 6 crews.
Yeah.
It was insane. He was just taking off, had commercial contracts and everything. He was, he did a great job, but that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about is finding your life within your own life.
That's right.
And that's what people have to do. We have to refocus ourselves on us. Yes, I'm not saying don't care for anybody. Don't take it way too extreme in your human monkey minds. What I'm saying
don't be
is,
an egotistical, pompous ass and just go around being shitty and rude to other people.
It's all about me in life. What I'm saying is it's okay to make time for yourself and check in with you.
That's
even if you do it once a month.
Yeah.
For an hour, or even whatever you can do.
Yeah.
Find time to identify you within your own life. Become part of your life.
Yeah.
Instead of making your life about everybody else.
Yeah.
When you'll do that, make it anything, health, wealth, happiness, hobbies, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Make it all about a moment in time, just about you.
That's right.
And I think you'll find your self-worth will climb astronomically.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but you'll find that the creative energy and the juices of your creativity will begin to flow, and you'll find other things that you never imagined you would end up finding enjoyment out of. And what I mean by that is, I always knew and had this internal nudge that I would write a book.
Mm-hmm.
But I never...
know you talked about it for years before you... I'd always be like, well, go write it.
And it just obviously one time. But being stuck in that 9-to-5 kind of rut mentality, robotic mindset, it kind of stifled my creative flow. This is all in the article, by the way.
Nice.
And when you begin to give yourself those little pockets of time, you'll find that there's a little more creativity that gets to bud and bloom.
Yes.
And then you'll do something and you'll be like, oh my God, that was fun. I never thought that I would enjoy doing that. Like for me, creating these illustrations, it started with having to create, after I wrote my first book, creating the front cover.
Yeah.
So I went on and played with I don't remember what app I used. I played with that a little bit and I was like, oh, you know what? This is kind of fun. I kind of like this. So then I began to play. And so now I just play with it all the time because I find such enjoyment. Like this morning when I was having my coffee and you were in the shower, I created a whole scene of the lakeside chronicles of the nature beings that I play with in my little bubble when I'm having coffee in the morning. Just for fun, I created a little illustration of this lakeside chronicle, and one of the birds is Elvis singing to the fish in the lake. And I mean, and I never would have said, if somebody had asked me, do you like doing graphic designing or creative illustrations, I would have said, no, I don't like that. I don't even know the first thing about it. And what I found on this new journey that we're on is it is a lot of freaking fun. I enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
Or even just writing my little articles. I enjoy that immensely. It's an opportunity for me to blab out all this stuff that lives in my head.
There's a lot of that.
And I
want to tell the story of Thomas real quick before we're getting close to the end. But Thomas was a CPA that I had many years ago. Vicky, my banker, introduced me to. And he did all of my accounting. And the first time I met him, Vicky went with me, and we went over to his office and knocked on his door. He's like, come in. And I walk in. I was like, Tommy. And he's got a bow tie. And he's just got the suspenders. And he turns around his desk. My name's Thomas. Oh, sorry, Tommy. But anyway, so we're like.
So you turned right around and called him Tommy again?
Yes, I did.
That sounds like you.
And anyway, so I ended up hiring him, because he was obviously really good at what he does because Vicky recommended him. And we go through the motion. He becomes my accountant for years and years and years. And then one day I was in his office and as I noticed on his desk, he had a file, and sticking on top of that file was divorce papers.
Oh.
I was like, oh, Tommy. Because he started allowing me to call him Tommy. You good, man? And he turned, he starts crying. He's like, my wife says that I'm just too uptight. I'm not any fun.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, those two have kind of like Christmas parties. They've been, I've known them now for years.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's not cool. Let me, what? I tell you what, can I call your wife? And so I sit down with Tommy. I'm like, Tommy, so explain to me what you're doing. I call her that from my office that afternoon, and I have a conversation with her. And she says, well, he's just so uptight, man. He's an accountant. Those cold old accountants.
Okay.
And she said, I'm tired of living this way. I want to have fun. Blah, blah, blah. At this time, she was probably late 50s, early 60s.
Okay.
And I was like, well, okay, I'll tell you what. I want you two to come meet me. And I went and got Tommy, brought him to my office, and right out in front of the business park was a great big fountain. And Tommy, or I didn't go pick Tommy up, but one of my people picked Tommy up for me.
One of your people.
And Tommy, and me and his wife, I'm not going to name their names, but we're standing on this side of that fountain. And Tommy gets out of the car on the other side of the fountain while it's still moving. And he runs and face dives into this fountain.
Did you tell him to do that?
No, he did that completely on his own. And he came up on the other side. He bumped his head. His head was bleeding. He came up out the other side just laughing like a teenager that had just got, the biggest trophy of his life or whatever.
Okay.
And then he gets up and does it again. And his wife looks at me and she's like, what got into him? Did you talk to him? I'm like, no, I didn't tell him to do any of this. And so we go over there and he's just laughing. He's literally that gut laugh, that true deep laughing.
Yeah.
And he comes up, he's soaking wet, still got his bow tie on. But the rest of him is completely down. And I said, and I will never ever forget what he said that day. And he said, he called his wife's name. You're right. On the way over here, some birdie told me in my ear, you should just relax and have fun and be a child again. Because you've lost yourself in your own self.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh. He takes his wife's hand and pulls her in the fountain with him.
Oh, my God. Did she find it
They're
as
both
comical
laughing.
as he did?
They're both laughing. And they're literally sitting in the fountain throwing water at each other for a good 20 minutes. And so I walked over, got him a gift card, and told him to go to dinner on me. And but they literally sat there for 2-3 hours. In the fountain.
And nobody got them in trouble?
It was my fountain.
Oh, okay.
But nobody, they just played in this fountain. That's all they did. They played like 2 6-year-old kids throwing water at each other.
Without a care in the world. Yeah.
And it saved their marriage. It really stuck with me.
Yeah.
And it
got lost
right.
in his own world.
He did. I lost myself in my own world. And
yeah. That's right.
You can do that easily. So I challenge everybody out there to take 5 minutes and identify where you are in your own world.
Yeah.
Where do you put yourself on that pecking order?
Yeah.
Because if you're not first, you're not going to be first on anybody else's, and you're definitely not giving 100% of yourself to help anybody else.
That's right. One of the things I do with my clients on occasion when they're kind of in that mode is I'll present them with this question. If the building is on fire, who are the top 5 people that you rescue?
Me, myself, and I.
And 9 times out of 10, they themselves are not even on that list.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree.
And so I point that out to them. And it really is kind of a pivotal point of their healing and their coaching process is coming to the realization that if it's a critical situation, you didn't even put yourself on the list.
Yeah, most of the time people
at all.
They just react and save themselves anyway. But because a lot of people, they don't know how they're going to act in that situation. So
right.
It's a
programmed
totally.
mindset
Agreed.
that I want them to come to the realization and awareness of is that when presented with the question, you didn't even stop to put yourself on the list at all, much less in top 5.
Right. Yeah. It's right.
And that's usually them not living in their own reality. They're just literally going through it like a robot.
Yep.
Just humdrumming through the day in and day out. So,
time clocks, watches, wall clocks should all go away. It would change life.
Hey, listen, you got to tell me that. I don't live by them anyway, right?
Right.
What is it that you have to do to trick me so that we are on time when we do have an appointment?
Tell you 2 hours early.
Is it 2 now? Wow. Because it used to be like 30 minutes, then it went to an hour.
It's never been 30 minutes because you told me, just tell me 30 minutes early. That way I'm on time. And that's always been at least an hour. Always.
Really?
Oh, yeah, totally.
And did you have to learn that the hard way, or did you just automatically
I still do it like yesterday. You come out there like, do we have time?
Yeah, because I'm thinking, okay, we got to get going. And
Or that was Friday. I mean, I guess that was Friday, not yesterday.
yeah.
Because we had an appointment at the bank.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey, guys, you feel complete?
Yeah, I'm good.
Thank you all for listening. Like, follow, and share. Hey, don't forget to go check out the new web domain for the phone app that we'll be launching hopefully sometime before the end of this year. Pretty sure it will. www.lucidiumworld.com. That is lucid, I-U-M, world.com. Lucidium.
Yeah, you've got that all kind of structured out so they can see.
Yeah, you can kind of really get a really good flow on it. The map thing I'm still working on a little bit, but it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
The Salty Tarot migrated into the Lucidium world. She didn't go away.
That's right. The Salty Tarot is in Lucidium World.
Yeah, she has her own parlor within the world.
And hey, if you are a metaphysical, spiritual practitioner, creator, business, lecturer, teacher, I mean, we're talking tarot, we're talking ruin, we're talking palm reading, Reiki,
energy work,
any practitioner,
palm reading,
any
astrology,
store, or a creator if you create things.
That's right.
Numerologist, anything.
Yeah, if you craft actual like jewelry or clothing or any of that.
Yeah, or even if you just sell it.
Yeah.
And you want to be a part of this app, pay attention to it. Go ahead and send us a contact page that's on the homepage of the website. Send us an email, and I will send you the information on it, because there's going to be a place in this app where the practitioners can go live one-on-one with you.
That's right.
Of any modality. It is a paid server, just like a telehealth that you have now for medical. Now we're going to have that for metaphysical.
That's right.
And same thing with stores.
Yeah, and then for merchandise.
Yep, that's right. And so it's going to be it's an awesome thing, and you get discounts when you
right. And also, if you have educational modules where you teach online, there's a place in the library where people can bring their educational workshops and plug those into the app as well.
That's correct.
The end user can, while they're playing the game, go through the educational part of it. We're morphing those two worlds together.
Or you can just drop us an email at admin@lucidiumworld.com.
Yep, so that we can look at your content and get you going on that side of things.
Yep. Hey, guys, don't forget to like, follow, and share. Apparently, our YouTube channel is actually the Merc Centers for some reason. I don't know what happened, but all of our YouTube stuff is on the Merc Centers YouTube page.
Okay.
But
who knows?
Who knows? I'll figure it out later. But anyway, like, follow, share, and don't forget to
ring that bell.
Hey, guys, y'all have an awesome day.
Love ya.